problems in the future. And we've got serious issues with the urology department that have yet to be resolved. They need to work on. We've got some problems coming up with the eye clinic now, with a contract negotiation, and that's a mess, and that's forced them to have to go back to using the electronic waiting list for appointments. At least that's my understanding of what's going on. And so, you know, we need to prevent these things from happening and correct what we know is already wrong.
There are reports that President Obama will meet with hospital administrators today and take part in a roundtable discussion with the veterans. Back out here live, you can see that we already have a group of protesters gathering, many of them seemingly upset at the care or lack thereof that veterans have been receiving, not just here in Phoenix, but nationwide. Again, President expected to land at Sky Harbor Phoenix Airport around 11:15 this morning. We're being told the visit will be quick, but nonetheless important. He'll be heading back out of town around 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Back to you.
All right, Anita, thanks very much. And in the meantime, Arizona's two senators, John
Says Arias communicated with minors and used other inmates' phone privileges, so her calls would not be
something versus when a police officer does something. Well, we have an expectation a police officer is not going to do something bad.
Well, Katie, what do you think? Because we've seen him, I mean, Kirsten is right. He doesn't react to these things very well. It's just not who he is. But we have seen him channel some passion when he's going after Republicans. Right. I mean, he's gotten really angry and really passionate on the stump. And I want to ask you, too, about the Kimmel platform to respond and Twitter. Do you think that he should have gone to the podium or done something different? Because sometimes people say, don't get involved in these local issues.
I was just going to say
he's done that before. Right. I mean, is he damned if he does and damned if he doesn't?
This is the problem when the Department of Justice and the President of the United States get involved in local police departments. And when they get involved, and whether it's in Florida, whether it's in Ferguson, Missouri, whether it's in New York, when the president comes out and interjects himself into these situations, which should be handled locally, then he's expected to comment not only on the situation he injected himself into, but every
violence will definitely die.
With calls involving people suffering from mental illness. According to police,
people she was able to speak to that night who could hear the bullets actually whizzing past them.
Yes, I was wondering how many people that night actually told you that they heard the bullets whizzing past them?
There was one of the other members of the media was really upset afterwards, and actually some cameramen from some local TV stations also were very upset. What they said was, you know, we've been issued bulletproof vests from our bosses, but we didn't have them on because we had no idea that this was going to happen. They had showed up for a 4 o'clock press conference and had no idea that it was going to turn violent, and even seconds before it turned violent, no one thought it would.
And there's been some criticism from the public that the police should not be wearing visible ballistic armor out here and protection that they should.
Than Clancy. Clancy was appointed just last month to turn the troubled agency.
I need to use one hand because, well, let's see what you think about this.
Almost 50% of the state's budget, and on dollar terms, this is the largest amount the state has ever spent on education. Well, the Arizona House passing a couple of gun bills expanding gun owners' rights. So, for example, House Bill 2320 requires public places like libraries to allow permit holders to carry firearms or then otherwise establish security guards and metal detectors. The other, House Bill 2431, creates a state compact that prevents other states from creating any more restrictive laws than what federal law currently calls for. Well, it was a day in the Cactus League that was kind of a big deal. Actor and comedian
first.
All right, you know a little bit about this. Getting married is expensive.
Still paying now. I'm still paying. I need a second.
There he is as a Cub, and here he is as a Diamondback. All 9 positions, plus for the White Sox, he played DH, designated hitter. Look at his fielding skills. And look at that cutoff throw right there. Now, he looked good for the Diamondbacks, not so much at Tempe Diablo when he was playing for the Angels. He finally kind of kicks the ball along there, but the helicopter was ready to ferry him from place to place, and the fans loved it. And Will made sure to give back to them.
So you guys section 123? Yeah. By far the best section. I have supersonic hearing. I could hear everything you could say, so on behalf of myself and the Diamondbacks, hot dogs for everyone. Section 123.
Now, the entire thing was part of an HBO special called Farrell Takes the Field, produced by Funny or Die, which, by the way, is his Twitter name. So, you guys, they're trying all kinds of things to make baseball a little more appealing to the younger crowd. They're going to speed the game along. They have not gone with a pitching clock yet. That may still be in the works, like the 24-second shot clock in the NBA. That might be still a year or two away. But having Will Ferrell in, that was just great.
That was on all the national programs.
It was everywhere yesterday. It was a big deal. Very cool.
Yeah.
Thanks, Ron.
Sure.
All right. Well, still to come this hour, a dangerous situation in West Virginia is caught on camera. We're going to hear the reaction from folks on the ground as a massive hillside gives shock
at a mall near you.
The story follows a British soldier separated from his unit at the heat of the Troubles conflict in Northern Ireland back in 1971.
Is held accountable for what happens. We will continue to see what happened under the last Secret Service head. We'll continue to see
options at Vistaprint.
The Secret Service drive.